Hey, I'm Samuel Archer, the one who brought you the Wuk Up Riddim and Wuk Up Riddim 2 between 2024 and 2025. And I need you guys to help me with something. I want you to tune in to the Table Talk show with Nikki G The Voice. I understand it's the #1 podcast. So tune in.
Welcome to Table Talk. Table Talk.
Welcome to Table Talk Show. We're here today with Samuel Archer. If you saw our first video, my first interview with him, which was last year, Samuel, or the very first time?
It would have been probably
2 years already?
2000, I think it's like 2002.
Oh my!
I just moved to Yólanda when we did
it. Yeah. And he was one of my, I would say, maybe first or second person that I really interviewed on Table Talk Show as a single host, and
just kind of stepping out and things.
Yeah, single host being that, I was doing the show on my own, and Samuel was, one of the persons that I was like, you know what, you need to come on my show. I need to interview you. And I'm going to treat it as, you guys who are locked on and listening didn't see the first one, but you have to go see the first one because there's a lot of gems that Samuel dropped. And he's very, how should I say? He does so much, it's so many things that he does. He's a songwriter, he's producer, arranger, engineer, author.
Yeah.
What else? Professor, if you want to
just a cool guy around.
A cool, down-to-earth guy.
Yeah, cool guy around.
Very, very down-to-earth.
I am very honored to be on with you tonight.
Welcome to Table Talk Show, Samuel.
Yes, my
again.
Yes, my dear. So now next time you're gonna be on my show.
Oh, you know it, yeah.
We gotta interview you now,
At least we have it on my show that you're inviting me on your show. So
that's right.
I have a recording of that.
So viewers and listeners, if she's taking too long, just say so Nikki, what about the fella that he say you know. All right, cool.
And tell them what show they're talking about, so at least they'll know.
The Muzilog magazine podcast. Yes.
Very rich show.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, it's rich? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hallelujah. I received it.
Rich in content. The people that he interviews, and it's not just soca only, but we'll get into that. We'll get into that very soon. Samuel, as I said, welcome to Table Talk Show once again. I want to do a little background conversation as far as where you started, but we'll breeze through that because we're going to get people to look at the first one. And now we're going to fast forward, or at maybe in the next half an hour or so, we'll fast forward to what you're advertising now, which is Wuk Up Riddim, correct?
Yes. This right here. So I grew up in the village of Mount Pleasant, Tobago, and that was during the 70s. I went to Mount Pleasant SDA Church. Shout out to the SDAs. What happened there is that there were two gentlemen that were very, I would say, progressive. One was a gentleman by the name of Errol Phillips, and the other gentleman, we call him Sporty Anderson. And Sporty Anderson was part of, before he was born again, he was part of Carib Dixieland. And so he played pan, and Errol Phillips, we call him Pip. Let's say Errol Phillips, we're going to keep the respect going. Hey, Pip. And what happened is that they started an orchestra in the church, and we had all types of instruments. And that is where I think I was able to experience all the different instruments that was in the band. They had percussive things, the scratch, the shakers, the cabasas, talk, and all kind of thing. You get to feel what the drums feel like, playing some guitar, So I'm not really, I should say, professional on all instruments, but because I I got a feel of each instrument. I can interpret it when I go on a keyboard, because keyboard is really my real instrument, keyboard and piano.
Mm-hmm.
So when I started programming music, that training, or should I say that environment, I normally tap into that when I'm arranging music. And then in the early 80s, Carib Dixieland bought some new pans. So they took all the old pans and donated it to Mount Pleasant Estate Church. And those of you who know Mount Pleasant, you had Mount Pleasant, and then there was a little building where it used to be a co-op. You remember the co-ops? A co-op is like a...
Well,
like
I know the name co-op, yes.
Yeah, it's like a grocery, and it's almost like a Walmart today. Like a
they had one of those
like
in
a Walgreens. Like a Walgreens kind of thing.
Yeah.
But they were somewhere in different villages, and the one in Mount Pleasant was like a little grocery, but I think they used to drop the mails there too. So when you want to come and see, people used to come up to the co-op and say, "Any mail for me?"
Oh wow!
Yeah, and then so next to the co-op building, it's not there anymore. It's knocked down, but next to that building was the pan tent. And actually my uncle was there, lived kind of like right in the same little block there, little area. Now Carib Dixieland is they have a what do you call it, a band room, but up by the football field now. All right, but anyway, long story short, I did have a chance to play a little pan and get a feeling for pan as well. So fast forward to, how fast forward do you want me to forward?
Well, you kind of covered the question that I had at age 8, and I wanted to ask, how did it shape you differently as a musician with all the different instruments that
okay, so good. So around the age of 8, we had something called Wuk Up Riddim. These Adventist people, they have all these Wuk Up Riddim, all kind of thing. But it was for the school. And the elementary school I went to was Hammond's Elementary School. They call it Scarborough SDA today. And if you know where that is, those of you who know that area, it's in Rocky Vale, Tobago. And the school and the high school and the church, sort of like they're on the same compound, so to speak. So we had Wuk Up Riddim. And the same Pip I talk about there, Errol Phillips.
Yeah.
I think for like the first 3 days, they came from the high school because we were having, there's like a worship thing. So we were singing, and then he brought some of the guys from the high school to play for the service for probably like the first 3 days or so. So by the fourth day or so, I didn't write it down. No one came. So I went and asked one of the teachers, "Can I play for the service?" So the teacher looked at me and said, "You could play the piano?" I said, he said, "Yeah." So I ran to the piano. He said, "All right, I'll play." So so they called the song, and I started playing. So I think the school was shocked for it. They was kind of like shocked, like, wait, he could play?
Because at age 8, seeing a boy play at that age, I don't know how tall you were at that age, but still.
I know, 2-3 feet. So what happened now is that I actually played the song right through. I remember that happening because the kids, like, they just couldn't believe I was playing the piano. So it was like a shock factor to them.
Yeah.
And then, so after that, when they called the next song, the teacher was like, "Okay, now we know that Sammy could play the piano. All I could sing now." He was Abraham. So we call him Sir Abraham from Tobago. So the Abrahams from Tobago. I think he was the principal at the time.
Okay.
Yeah, I got my tail washed a few times too.
Oh gosh.
So, yeah, I'm not serious.
Oh gosh. That's why you're in tip-top shape now.
Yeah. They were serious. But what I would say is, if you want to improve on an instrument, play in a church service, because what happens is when they sing in songs, they call in songs like at random. So it pushes you to improve.
Okay.
Because some, like in the beginning, obviously they might call a song and you really know it too well. And then you start feeling around and, probably by the second verse, you catch where the song is. And then, they call a next one like, oh my God, did you try that? So like after a couple of weeks, you get sharp.
Pick up. Yeah.
And then, you start getting sharp and start learning the, like a repertoire. There's like a certain type of repertoire the church members would like to sing, and then so over the years. So between that and I mean, my sight reading sucks now. I mean, I ain't really great at that. But at that time, I was really sharp on sight reading. So when you put the book in front of me, I knew the key signatures, the time signatures. And even if I didn't know the piece before, I would just stick to the theory and follow the song, So that was that. And I think that also helped where I played for other churches from that,
hotels I see here.
Yes,
well.
yes, I played at some hotels. Crown Reef, they don't exist anymore, but I did play at Crown Reef. I played at Turtle Beach Hotel and Carriwack Hotel. I did some filled in there for the Honorable John Arnold, if you know who he is.
Beautiful.
Yes. So
all right.
had some experience there. So all of these things sort of help build musicianship. It builds the insight. And it, you can't do nothing else but just improve.
Yeah. So you loved music that much, so you just kind of...
music was definitely we had a connection. A connection and I think my parents was kind of worried because they introduced me to music. So, it's like as well, it's something to do, hey, go get some lessons.
Yeah.
I don't think they thought that I would have actually gravitated to it the way that I did. Because I was really supposed to be a medical doctor or something.
That's what I was gonna ask you. What was the alternative? Or what did you want to do if you wasn't a musician?
Well, in my years of later life, I would gladly say that if I wasn't into music the way I'm at, I would have been into education. Education is being now I kind of rusty on maths and science and thing, but I had a sort of aptitude for that as well.
Okay.
I did a little bit of pathology studies, medical lab and things like that. So that was kind of interesting. But I think I would have probably just really settled into education, pretty much like what I'm doing now, that it's really a joy to do that.
Yeah, but at least you are doing it now at the current moment. So, and it's intertwined. So let me just go back to, there's a point in time or in your life you did bachelor's degree in music business full-time at Sale University.
Yes, at Full Sail University.
All right. Yeah. And then you
Okay, so that happened in 2010. So I think what happened, or should I say what initiated that, was in 2007 to 2009, I was teaching at my alma mater in Tobago, which would be Harmon High School or Harmon School of SDA. I was there for like 2 years. And it was sort of like a learning environment. So although I was teaching and so on, a lot of the teachers were also improving themselves. This one is doing they're doing my classes or working on their masters and working on their other thing. So I think being in that environment, I was like, okay, well, I need to do something too. I already had an associate's.
Yeah.
But I was like, okay, you know what? I was actually going to go into maybe psychology or education. And then, and then I stopped midway and I say, why don't I do something I really want to do? Why don't I study like at the age I was closing into 40. And I'm like, let me do something that I want to do. Why do something I don't want to do and then I'm doing, it's like, let me do something.
You stop doing it. Yeah.
So around that time, Full Sail University, I don't know what happened, but they had some sort of a promotion or a marketing campaign going on. So this day I'm on YouTube, and I see this thing come on. This ad comes on YouTube. Enroll in the music business program and get a free Mac laptop. I was like, what?
Wow, initiatives.
I was like, oh, we need to get this. So I enrolled, and I was things was real tight. So
yeah,
I really qualified for the for the assistance.
You made sure.
I qualified for the assistance, and I was able to pursue the music business program.
That was good, very good.
And they kicked my ass for like 2.5 years. They just, them courses was they
make you work for it.
Oh my God! And the thing was, I did it online, so they weren't taking any excuses. They're like, look, don't even say the dog did this, that. There's like you got to get them a pint of blood, like take a picture and send a certificate that like I was in an accident, okay?
Oh wow!
I remember the drive went out on the laptop. The drive went out, and I couldn't do some work in one of the classes. Man, the dude he wanted the ticket. He wanted the ticket that you get from when you take it into Apple.
Yeah.
So they give you like a ticket and a receipt.
Oh, to make sure that something had happened.
Yeah, he wasn't taking any prisoners. He was like, you got to send this, you got to send that. Jeez, these guys are. It was I was like, this. Why are you all so tough? We kind of lax now. We're not that tough. Like they
before, yeah. And that's how the Caribbean is anyway.
Well, forget about that. It
was worse.
Jamming. It was jamming when I was doing CXC. Oh my God! You did CXC, by the way? Yeah. I did. What did I do? POB, social studies, geography.
You had to, everything.
Maths, English. No, I was on the science side, but I had I probably put it in my book. There was a little situation. I fell out with a teacher, one of my teachers, and we had a little.
Seriously?
Yeah, it was rough. It was rough.
So what, they didn't let you write it, or what do you mean you fell out with the teacher?
Well, it has a lot of layers to it. You want that story? You want to hear that story? Summarize
it for me. I want to get to the punchline because you already piqued my interest.
Okay. So what had happened was it was a math teacher, and I was in this class, and he would say something like, all right, guys, I'll do the rest for homework. So after the class, do the rest for homework. And when, at that time, when you said do the rest for homework, that I wasn't really doing the homework. That was just, okay, that's the class is end. The class is done and I'm out. So a couple of weeks went by, and then he just, picked up me out of the blue. He was like, yo, where's the homework? And I'm like, oh, I'm like, what homework are you talking about? He said, from the class. I said, all right, so I get, just to shut him up, I was like, all right, I'll get it done, A couple of weeks later again, he's like, yeah, where's the homework? What's going on? I brush him off again. And coming up to the end of the term, we're doing tests, right?
Yeah.
So I come to do the test. I come to sit the test.
Oh boy.
So when he handed out the papers now, like he was ready for me, he said, where's the homework? I said, well, I know. But I think that day I wasn't having a good day anyway. So I was like, what homework you talking about, brethren? You know, I mean, I wasn't really cussing in
wondering.
school. But a lot of that was in my mind. Like, what homework you talking about, dog? Like, dread, you know, I mean, not dread. That was kind of in that zone. And he said, well, now you can't do the test unless you get it home.
Oh, no.
So I'll give you a little epiphany, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when that happened, I just sat down while the test was happening for like, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes. I sat down. I said, this fool really gave me this test?
You said that out loud, Samuel.
No, in my head.
Oh.
Yeah. So, but I'm sitting there like really? So people doing that test and I just sit down there, you give me the paper. So I just roll out. So I literally walked out of the school. Never went back.
So you didn't do your CXC?
Well, I did the CXC.
Oh, okay.
But not in school. I just did it independently.
Oh, afterwards.
Right?
Okay.
And to the day, literally 20 years after that, I'm at the school as a teacher. It's the funniest thing. It was the funniest thing. I actually went home to do it. I was living here, but the principal wanted me to come and, you know, he felt that I had some experience that would benefit the students and things like that. And, you know, they wanted to have a really good music program. So thinking with my experience, it would sort of be a good way to start. And they hadn't started doing music for CXC as yet. So I was a teacher to initiate that, you know, so the first batch of students that did music for CXC was the students that I started with there. So and the thing is, once you start this subject, you can't stop it. So the key was to at least, you know, have a batch of students that would start doing it. So then they'll have to keep offering, you know, the opportunity for other students.
For others, yeah.
So the epiphany was this. So I ended up having 2 students that kind of did a similar thing. So it was almost like a payback, right? So same thing, test comes around. Was it test? No. I think what they had to do, they had to
assignments.
It was like an assignment that they had to turn in stuff. So even though they did the tests, they were missing the assignments. But I mean, I didn't let them. I didn't prevent them from doing the tests. But they kind of realized that, okay, you know, they need to get this assignment in. It done, the due date done pass and all kinds of
already things. Yeah.
So they came and spoke to me at they come to the staff room and, you know, they kind of, well, sir, you know, easy up now, sir. Yeah. So I ended up giving them all the tests, which was similar to the assignment. And I say, hey, what? Do these tonight. And I go grade it and all I get to pass on.
Yeah.
So when I did that, and I sat down on my desk, I was like, you know, I think 20 years ago, the teacher just wanted me to come by the door. and plead, you know, just say, well, sir, use me up now, man. I think that's
instead of acting like a bad John.
I went full bad John, roll out of the place, all kind of thing. But I was like,
that'll do it.
You know. But there's a good ending to the story. A few years later, he relocated here, and we had a reunion call, you know, those phone calls.
Yeah.
And so he ended up on the call, and then after we had the meeting, you know, he and I spoke, and you know, it was good. It was good. It wasn't like I hate you kind of thing, you know. It was more like, you know, you're more adult.
Yeah.
And I was like, I say, you know, I probably needed that, because actually that kind of lit a fire to have me pursue things with a certain kind of like with a certain kind of fight, you know, a certain kind of energy, a certain kind of focus, right?
Because of what he did.
Right. So I was even thinking, what if I went the other way? Would I have still had the fight? Like it because I was at a crossroads. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So going the Bajan way I felt was good. I mean, in the long run. But in the short run, I think if I had gone and worked out a deal, that would have probably been the story of my life.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they always say that, you know, the road that you choose, it depends on the road that you choose, determines the path you lead, you know? So if you choose a tougher path, that's the road you're gonna lead. And then, you know, you learn from that. So
yeah. But there was a time I wasn't even talking to him. I was like, nah, I ain't messing with him. I stopped talking to I stopped going on the compound. I stopped talking. I closed everybody off.
Because you wanted your way.
Yeah, you know, it was, you know, it was life, man. You know, it's life. You see life a certain way, and you think, look, I don't agree with that. And you know, when you're young, you feel you know everything. And
you was a spoiled child or something, or you just?
I wouldn't say I was spoiled. I mean, let's say I was exposed to a lot of, you know, I mean, it was a strict environment. You know, you're talking about the 70s.
Yeah.
Well, 70s and the 80s, there was still some sort of a disciplinary type of, you know, we would adopt that behavior, you know. And if you notice, the batch younger than us, they have their mouth kind of hot, and then the younger you go, their mouth real hot, you know, till you know, the baby and them with their mouth hot when they're born, everybody just rah 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 rah, you know.
The discipline is totally different. That's why when you said that you know, you open your mouth to your teacher, and I open my eyes, because I know if we did that, parents know, auntie know, you're getting expelled, you're getting licks. There were consequences. Yeah.
Well, and I think that also helped with my maturity. You know, so like when I became a teacher now, I wasn't looking at them as I was a student. I was once where they are. So now I could deal with it differently.
Okay.
And deal with a little more empathy. You know, with the situation.
Yeah, even like a parent as well. You end up doing the same thing.
Right. And so I had my girls by the time too when I was teaching.
Yeah.
And they actually had a little experience because they went to the elementary school. So they went to the elementary school Daddy went to for the 2 years and got a little, you know, they got a little experience in them. So when I came back up and started at Full Sail, they pretty much just came back and started going back to school back in the States.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So moving forward, you work across many roles: songwriter, producer, arranger, engineer, even author. What is the part of your creative process you enjoy the most?
Wow.
Writing the music, arranging it, or producing it, and why?
Wow.
I mean, if you like all, but you know.
Okay, so this might sound weird, but a lot of times when I'm in creative mode, I elevate, or I elevate or I'm elevated, meaning that I really tap into the zone. And I've done music in various, I have various approaches. So it's kind of, you know, so to some people it might be kind of weird, but I would probably do it where I may use the instruments. You know, I may start with maybe a drum track, maybe put a bass, maybe put a, you know, where I'm sort of like feeling out the vibe. Majority of musicians or producers, they would start out that way. But I have started with lyrics, like someone would give me lyrics and then I'll work it into a song and then build from there, which is different. Sometimes I may look at a picture or an image or some sort of a graphic, and then I'll draw inspiration from that and see if I could tap into, well, what is the music that is offering, and then pull that too.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll start with strings and feel the vibe there, and then add stuff to it. Sometimes I may work with samples. So I will say the creativity is one. If I'm by myself, it's one thing. If I'm in the studio, like the people in the studio, the engineers, and if they're additional musicians, they kind of like have so much fun with it because it's like in real time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not coming with something that I wrote out and say, all right, well, this is your part. Although I've done that. But I've done sessions where the musicians didn't know where it was going to go. And then so we'll create, and like 2-3 hours later, they're like, yo, it's just like a whole vibe, So I think what happens is that it's sort of like an elevating type of experience. And you really tap into the, if it's melody or rhythmic or you're putting in harmony or basses. And then now it inspires the other people in the room. Like, okay, well, if he's going to do that, I can do this.
Yeah.
So now it becomes like a creative bed, because now we're focusing all this energy into this thing. That we're creating. And so we in a way we become lords of sound.
So you like the live sessions of arranging everything? That's what
I like
that you enjoy the most?
Well, I don't know which one I enjoy the most yet, but I would say it all depends on my mood. Like if certain moods, because the other thing too is, how much time do I have? Do I have the time to flex like that, or do I need to, like, okay, I need to whip up something? So it's like a hurry pot,
Time
to we had to hurry up something. All right, boom, you hurry it up, and well, it's good to go. Right? It wasn't fully thought out, but it was just, okay, some raw talent. We came up with something, and we could present it to the world or the artist or whoever wanted this thing. And then they took it from there.
So it depends on the project that you're doing.
That too. It depends
on your mood.
It depends on the artist. It depends on where I'm at.
With.
I mean, am I listening to a lot of dancehall like all week? Am I listening to a lot of soca? Or am I listening to classical? Am I listening to jazz? So sometimes, depending on the week you catch me, it would sort of influence a particular vibe.
Okay. Did you ever have a moment where you thought about quitting or shifting directions, especially when you left Tobago for the US?
All the time. All the time. I think it's just an emotion you just have to face. It's almost like a heartbeat. It's almost like it's almost like blood circulation. So sometimes you just feel like I need to quit, or I might see somebody that's really amazing. And then I'd be like, well, why am I doing this?
I have those moments, but the funny thing is, right? When you look at a creative person and they giving you, I love to look at, Instagram and all those places have motivational speakers. And then you have people who are creative who would probably tell you, how they got into whatever they're doing, right? And I would look for people mainly in voiceovers just to see how they got there, their story, their ups, their downs, especially their ups, just to see, what am I missing? And that's the same question I have sometimes. I'm like, oh my God, they're really going for it. They only staying on business. They're not all over the
Yeah.
place. You know
Yeah.
what I
Yeah.
mean? And then some people would say, well, one person I heard say, don't be your worst enemy where you leave yourself without a job. Not in those particular words I'm saying, I'm just summarizing it.
Understood.
So
Understood.
you're your own asset, you know, so you have to
Yeah.
advertise yourself. There's so many different things you have to do. And yes, I've had moments where I feel like I just need to stay off this and focus on that. And maybe I need to quit this so I could focus on one thing rather than be all over. But I enjoy everything, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say it's an emotion that you have to face, but at the same time, it sort of redirects you to your why. Because like when I'm inspiring young people, especially with where we talk about, the piano or the instrument, I'm like, look, music is supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be a fun thing. And so sometimes when I go to the point where I want to take it so serious that I'm forgetting the fun and leaving fun behind, or leaving the reason behind. And sometimes it might be the nature of the business. It might be like your support circle. I think for me, the support circle was important, even if I was doing it by myself. But you have an inner support, like loved ones around you.
Yeah.
And I think at one point that support was kind of not there. And it sort of kind of knocked me off the track a little bit.
Okay.
They knocked me up, and then, so it was like, okay, you have to work your way back to your why.
Yep. Yeah.
So it can, but I would say it's human to have the emotion of, okay, does it, because we're always evaluating.
Yeah.
And does this make sense? Should I keep pushing this?
Going, yeah.
Should I chill? Should I, what should I do with it? And at some point you just had to make a choice and say, what you're going to do.
Yeah, sometimes, how they say everything happened for a reason, mainly.
Yeah.
And I would say people like you, seeing your interviews, when you call me and you send music to me, right? I'm using you as a reference since you're here, but you're one of the
Okay.
people.
Okay.
I know we had a chat today, so you know how my life is. So it's like there's things that happen in your life and it tells you, you know what? This person is coming to me. This person is looking out for me to spread music. This person has just given me someone who was a chutney monarch, who won the chutney monarchs. It's like you see people looking to you to come to your show, to using you for something. So it gives you that clarification that you are doing something right,
Yes.
and maybe you should stick with it because other people seeing something that you don't see, So when I evaluate what I'm doing, all those things come to play when I'm playing it back in my head. But the bottom line is you have to know if you really want it or not and what you want,
True.
So,
Yeah, you had to be in it to win it.
Yeah.
You had to be in it to win it. So
Yeah.
that's important.
Yeah. So looking back, what would you tell your 8-year-old self or your 8-year-old version of yourself, starting at the piano in Tobago? What would you tell yourself? What you know now, what would you tell yourself?
I really don't know.
All the lessons you've learned. Like you said one, like maybe if I choose a different path and I wouldn't have spoken to my teacher, but that's years after. But what advice would you give your younger self? That's what I should say. I just said it a little differently.
Well, I know. You know what it was, as when I was a child, I was really a child. So I was real stupid, I was smart,
I
but
see
stripper.
that.
Yeah, I was smart, but stripper.
Naive.
Yeah, let's go with naive.
Okay.
So I guess every phase it was learning, like a learning
Yeah.
phase. I mean, there were some things I wish I could have done differently, but at the end of the day, I don't think I'll change it. It was part of the path
Your learning process.
and learning, and I'm always willing to be coachable. So that's another thing. Um, and I think, this is the other way. The other reason why is I look at all my experiences very similar to a butterfly. So at one point you're a caterpillar, and then at the other point you're in the catalyst.
The metamorphosis.
Right. So you're in the cocoon. And then eventually, you're a butterfly, you're spreading your wings. So I know what it is to be the cocoon. I mean, in the cocoon, I know what it is to be the caterpillar. The caterpillar doesn't know what it is to be the butterfly yet, or what the transformation is.
Yeah.
So looking at it from that aspect, I don't even know what I would tell myself, my younger self, if
Really? All the stuff you know now?
I do so much strippiness. I do so much strippiness. Well, okay, you know what I would say? Keep on keeping on. Keep on keeping on.
You're gonna do fine.
Yeah. Keep on keeping on.
Good.
So I guess that's probably what I would say.
Yeah. All right. So you have a broad musical palette, right? Jazz, classic, world, hip hop elements, all shown in your work. In your view, what are the core definitional traits of soca that makes it distinct from hip hop or jazz?
Why you roll up that question there, man?
No, you know why I say this? Because why I ask is because, okay, so the listeners that we have right now, right, is not just soca, right? And as I said before, you dabble in so many different genres. So we don't have to be too technical in a sense.
Okay.
Just explain to me what are the core traits of jazz that you probably wouldn't find in soca or hip hop, even though soca has a combination, or I should say jazz and hip hop have a combination of soca somehow. Sometimes people infuse it. But standing on their own, what would you think the different definitions of it might be that one of them mightn't have? In sound, probably.
Well, I funny enough, I know the answer.
Okay.
I know the answer. And
you're gonna make trills just because.
and it's a very, very primitive reason. Genres are born from the speech pattern of a language. So if you notice, if you listen to how we speak in Trinidad and Tobago, the speech pattern is why you have calypso. If you listen to how our Haitian brothers and sisters would speak, and you hear the music, it goes together. And same thing for the ones in Puerto Rico and in the Spanish territories, because of the
dialects.
The dialect. You ever hear them say the news? And it's sort of like they're running down the street.
Oh yeah.
And then when you hear the music, it really a lot of the syncopation and everything, it comes from your dialect. It comes from your speaking pattern. So that's really the answer with the genres. And because America is a continued experiment, is a melting pot where people from different parts of the world came to the US The US is literally the nation of the world. And there has some people who think they're bright and say diversity is bad, and I don't understand that. But the diversity is what really helped with other genres. So especially in America, America has been leading in music for years. And again, the reason why is that because America is the official melting pot that would, people come together as they will create, and then they will actually influence other parts of the world. All right. But let's look at soca. If we're going to look at soca, soca is a derivative of calypso. That's like in the simplest form you could say. So what dancehall is to reggae, soca is to calypso. Now there's I would say there are two family trees. One of the trees I would say is on the Ras Shorty side, right, where he was experimenting with endless vibrations and so on. So he took more of an experimental direction, and then now you had Arthur Dikoto. That's Ronnie McIntosh father, I think Ronnie Dikoto was that. So now he didn't want to hear anything about soca back then. When I do the music, I'm not really mixing African and East Indian rhythms.
Okay.
So I think I'm under the other tree. But we all call it soca. I mean, soca is sort of like you could say it's the official name or the unofficial name of the whole, but I would say my vibe would be pretty much close to maybe like what Ed Watson would have been doing.
Okay.
In the arrangement.
Okay.
You familiar with Ed Watson?
I know Ed Watson, yeah. But yes. For my listeners now, explain who he is and how you class your music like his. Well, from I would say from the musicianship, from his approach. If you understand his music, so he was the one that was begging Kitchener to do Sugar Boom Boom. He did. He arranged a lot of what we want to sample today. Yeah. Came from Ed Watson arrangements. Okay. So Singing Diane had a record called You Gotta Give Away. You Gotta Give Away. Yeah, I know that song. I know. All right. So now that was sampled for Benjai's Trini. You see? So the records you want to sample for soca would come from I would say majority came from Ed Watson. If we actually do the research, and he had this is another dynamic. If you listen to calypso from the like what Harry Belafonte used to do, and then what Sparrow and Kitsch and Roaring Lion and those guys would do, the calypso is very much influenced by jazz. Like if you listen to the horn arrangements, right? True, right? So that is, if you listen closely and listen to you listen to some not bebop per se, but if you listen to some Dizzy, you listen to some Charlie Parker, and listen to the horn arrangements, the difference is really what happens on the rhythm and the accent. So that also lends to imply that what's happening in the mainstream also influences the genre. True. So hip hop came in, hip hop became a genre. It developed from the 70s coming into the 80s, and that also influenced where the soca went, or it influenced where the other forms of calypso. Yeah.
and so on. And even you talk to the regular Calypsonians, and they would always talk about how Sparrow would approach singing.
Yeah.
Now, Sparrow could sing more than the Calypso genre. He could sing jazz, he could sing R&B, he has a broad,
all different genres.
Right. And he'll execute it with the proper breathing, the proper enunciation, and I don't even know if we'll see another Sparrow.
Just like
for what he brought to the game. Kitchener had more arrangements, so he was really more of a he was probably like a Mozart or Beethoven.
Yeah.
So it wasn't about his singing; it was about melodically what he was doing within the confines of the music. And Ed Watson did a lot of Kitchener material. As
you're saying that, are you familiar with Sonny Roberts? He's a Jamaican he went to Europe. He was one of the pioneers who actually did a production, I think, on Sugar Boom Boom.
I don't know if I know him. I'll have to do some research on it.
All right.
He's a musician or engineer?
Yeah. So he was a producer, engineer. I interviewed his daughter about a year or so ago, and Sugar Boom Boom was one of the albums that he helped produce in English.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and that was another thing. The Calypsonians would go to, I think they would go to Jamaica to record.
Yeah. So he was one of them because it's Island Records, Trojan Records, Planetone Studios. So Planetone Studios was one of the people who represented a lot of the artists when they didn't have any production companies.
Right.
His production company was the one that, colored people, they would allow him to produce the work in England. That's why you find Marshall went to England and all these other artists went to England to have their work produced and then come back to Trinidad.
It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And the reason why it makes a lot of sense too. Thank God Belafonte had respect for the Sparrow and Kitschy and so on, because the record labels in the US wanted to put out a record with him saying the King of Calypso. And he said,
I saw that.
He said, nah, fellas.
No.
He said, nah. He said, look, this thing, yes, I'm doing the art form, but there is a process to be called the king, and he respected the art form and he informed the label. So this is where, in many aspects, we have to be thankful for Charlie's, Ralston Charles, because I think he opened up the opportunity to start recording in New York.
Yep.
Right. I don't know if anyone was recording in New York before Ralston Charles, and I think so. A lot of the achievements or the momentum of introducing calypso and soca in the States. Charlie's was
one of the pioneers as well.
A major pioneer there.
Yeah, he was.
But Jamaica and England was where a lot of the Calypsonians would go. And work at one point.
It comes around full circle as you speak about them, So that brings me to my next question, right? Many genres thrive because they have strong cultural roots. Technically mastered and evolving sounds. Where do you see that soca does very well? Let me rephrase that. What do you see that soca does very well? And what areas do we need room to borrow from other genres that's doing better than us?
Okay, I understand the question, but I guess the what we need to borrow in terms of what other genres are doing that we could implement for the industry that we have presently. Okay, so our best feature is also our worst feature. So the best feature is that the music is centered around a ritual. It's centered around a certain time of the year. It's centered around Lent.
Yeah.
Although it didn't start there originally. It was which actually is the reason why we could have carnivals all over the place.
All over, yeah.
At any time of the year.
Every month,
because initially we were celebrating freedom. And then, which would have been August 1st, or emancipation. That's really what the celebration was initially. And then somehow it ended up in the religious sector, where it became, all right, it's during Lent, and you have 2 days of carnalism, and you go to church on Ash Wednesday. And, so it became that other thing where it initially didn't start that way. So when we do carnival, it's not really carnival. We're celebrating freedom, right? But however, we ended up in that cycle. And because Lent is every year,
falling around the same time.
Calypso, right. So Calypsonians had to always come with a new album. So the fact that there was this you want to call it a need for the, so they had to bring music for the next carnival, the productivity was such a high rate, they couldn't help but be original.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So the originality is there, but the environment of having to release music every year isn't really sustainable if you're looking at it as a career, if that makes sense. So the other people who have careers, they're not locked into, well, I need to write something for Carnival, or I need to release this around Carnival.
Yeah.
They release it when they release it. So they may have an album that may live for a year or two. Look, Cardi B just dropped an album, and this was her second full album since the first one.
Yeah, she's been going through a lot of problems, so it's like.
Well, I understand. I'm not going into a personal thing, but the fact was, I didn't even realize. I thought she had other albums. I didn't even, but they were just singles. She had singles that did well.
Yeah.
And then, release a second album. So, which means that, okay, her career is not boxed into a seasonal thing. It's not boxed into, well, okay, we're doing this for the carnival. Yeah. So if the leaders, or should I say the leading people, not necessarily leaders, but the people that's, the ones you definitely hear on the radio, and you hear them on the plane when they're going home, they're playing their music on the plane in Bee-Wee.
Yeah, constantly, yeah.
Did I just say Bee-Wee?
Yes, you did. Caribbean Airlines.
At Caribbean Airlines, those artists, if you notice, they're kind of going outside of the box a little bit, and release at a certain time, and make sure the music bill, and so on. So I think it's a little bit of each, but we would have to get out of that cycle.
Yeah.
Because the unless the people that's attending these events can make a conscious decision or be intentional that they're going to support the music.
Okay.
But if, I'm not going to say it's not possible, but where we are as a people, it's not easy. Because the music is for free. Sorry, go ahead.
That's what I was just about to say. As you said it, that the music is free. That's a big thing, because right now you can get soca music and you don't have to pay for it.
Yeah, it's on YouTube.
You get it on YouTube. I mean, you could download a lot of music, but soca music, even before it was on YouTube, even before you could get it on different platforms, people were sharing it, and they've always
Correct.
been sharing it.
Correct.
You didn't have to buy it. So that's why I think compared to hip hop and R&B, I mean, I'm not so much soaked in that industry.